I really am trying to be as honest as possible with these videos. I know they're all over the place, but so was my frame of reference. So was my train of thought. It's kind of all over the place. I think I've been trying to articulate this shit for like a year and a half. I don't know if I've done a very good job. So whenever I have an idea of how maybe I could articulate this, I just turn the camera on. I'll start speaking a little bit. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. And I know like that's not what I'm supposed to do brand wise, right? I'm supposed to have a million layers of irony in front of me. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna look you straight in the eyes. Look you straight in the eyes, my fucking camera, straight in the eyes. And I'm gonna tell you what's on my mind. So okay, one of the thesis points is that the world is kind of disconnected, disassembled noise. Like philosophically, a lot of concepts have been taken apart, and that's reflected in the culture, which is not a bad thing, not a good thing. It's just a thing. My aim is to describe. See, that's the thing. It's hard to keep the train of thought going because the impetus is to self-critique with every word you say, with every sentence you say. As soon as you finish a sentence, it's hard to even get a thought out before your own brain starts picking apart your thought. I know that this is more of a me thing than a whole world thing. I understand, but I think it makes sense for us to be sort of building that kind of culture, the second guessing kind of culture, where everything it should be second guessed, because there's so much information out there. As again, I really thought this video would be a lot more succinct, but I'm talking about it now, and I'm realizing that it's like branching off into other topics as well. So the reason the videos are split into like 40 different videos is because I just have all these disparate thoughts, and all the thoughts are connected, which is why they literally link to each other. I don't know why I feel the need to spell that out now, but now that you know, you're going to be like, oh, that's why they're linked, because they're linked. Oh! Okay, in my Zoomer versus Boomer video, the Zoomer says, I live in a world of disconnected noise. The world has been disassembled. With that deconstruction comes a sort of noise, a sort of deconstruction. And you're in like a position where your framework's been broken apart. And when people's frameworks are like smashed apart, they often fall into like nihilism, which is maybe could be characterized as the absence of a framework. Or if you're a non-nihilist, anti-nihilist kind of guy, you might say just, oh, they're trying to be above the whole game, but in reality they've constructed this nihilistic framework and they're working within it. So if we could try to define a non-framework or an absence of framework, it might look less like nihilism and more like schizophrenia. That's not how schizophrenia works. What was I saying? Right. This video is going to be the link between the video on abstract art and the video of self-construction. So basically the philosophy here, or at least my ideas on this. Philosophically, right? We are I believe, in a period of constructing meaning. I don't think this is unique to us either. I think cultures, peoples, humanity, if you want to get really broad, we go through processes of construction, deconstruction, and reconstruction. Synthesis, thesis, antithesis. I just came up with this myself. Ideologically, we come up with this idea, and then we have this opposing idea, and they clash. Or we have this idea, it gets deconstructed, and then we take some of the pieces and we build it up again, but in a different way or with some new pieces here and there. So that's the process of culture evolving. And you can look at that over time. The progressives want to progress A, B, C, D, and E. And the conservatives want to conserve A, B, C, D, and E. And so there's a tug of war, and the progressives always win on some end. They always slowly win because, a conservative wins if nothing changes. Unless they're like very conservative. In that case, I would not call them a conservative. But for the most part, conservatives just want to keep things the same. Progressives want to move it. And then fascists want to jump in a time machine. But we're just thinking about this linearly. Progressive, conservative, like a tug of war. We are, as people who grew up on the internet, fucked. We are in a very unique situation. Our parents did not grow up on the internet. So in many ways, the things that we are figuring out are things that only we can figure out. We're sort of like the test generation, the little guinea pigs. What happens to a young mind when you give them an iPad for his whole life? That's the question. Me personally, my dopamine receptors are kind of fucked. And that's not unique. That's not a generational problem necessarily. But, your grandparents would have never had that problem. Your parents probably would have never had that problem. Even if they, might get addicted to Candy Crush here and there, when you grow up with that, when your brain is developing with that, it's totally different, I think. Anyways, so we as a people, we as a generation, I'm saying we a lot. I mean, I assume you're a young person. I assume you're like under 30. Because that's my crowd. No, I mean, I think half of my audience is over 24, which is ancient. You guys are ancient. No, I'm just kidding. But like, imagine being 25. Ooh, hello, I'm 25-year-old Greg. The point is, if you're a Zoomer, right, you have to figure out what the rules are yourself. It's up to you, buddy. There's no one here to help you. You don't have a grandmaster. If you lived 100 years ago and you plow the fields, then your grandfather who plowed the fields has a fuck ton of knowledge in this brain of his, and he's going to share it with you, and he knows he can tell you exactly how to live because, he plowed the fields a generation ago, and just plowing the fields a generation ago, he has all this knowledge. Your parents don't know shit about the internet. You have to listen to me, kids. Your parents don't know anything. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't mean for it to come across like that. It just means like they don't. Even if your dad tells you you gotta get off your phone, he doesn't intuitively know why. He just kind of has a vibe. He didn't grow up with his phone fucking fried, with his brain fucking fried on online. Anyways, so the point is, what I'm getting at here is Zoomers must reconstruct meaning themselves. It's up to you. It's up to the people. The people. Now, how does this relate to the abstract art? So, here's the connection. Here's the connection between the two videos. Here's the link between the two videos. Sorry, this one's not candid at all. This one's not candid at all. Where's the radical centrist? Where's the radical centrist, huh? Oh, there he is. Oh, he's in character. Wow. What's he saying? Wow. The reason that there often is an express meaning from my abstract art, from the more, as I say, meta-ironic pieces that I do. By the way, I don't really know if meta-ironic is a good word for ambiguous irony. I should probably just call it ambiguous irony because that's what it is. The reason there's no specific link, the reason there's no specific answer to a lot of things a lot of the skits that I do, the reason it references a problem instead of coming to a conclusion about it, is it's because it's our job to figure out what our answer is to the problem. And, I'm not saying, I don't want to give you the answer. I might have an answer myself. I actually almost definitely do. I have frameworks I interpret the world through from. I'm not just like, I am that, I would say 75% of the time. But 25% of the time, I know what I believe. I know who I am. I know what my framework is. It's not that bad. But I'm trying, even if I know what I'm saying and I know what the framework is, I don't want you to know what I know because I don't want you to think that I'm making my art in a certain way to make you think a certain way. I'm giving you stimulus, and then you're supposed to wake up like you just had a dream, and you're supposed to put the stimulus back into your head. And I know I'm painfully self-aware of how what I'm saying sounds. I know a lot of you are going to be watching and being like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, artist. Who the fuck do you think you are, artist? You think you can just make me think? You think you can just make me think, you bitch? Fella, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I am more there with you than you probably are against me. That being said, I've sort of learned that if you self-criticize every sentence, you won't say anything. You'll just be, your tongue will tie itself in your mouth, and the words and thoughts will die within you. And if all you can do is verbalize, there's the issue. That's it. Point to it. I don't know what to do about it, but point to it. Well, then maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe we can get somewhere. I don't think it helps anyone to not talk about a problem. So, summary. The world is disconnected noise. Young people live in a very strange time where they have to reconstruct meaning from deconstructed past. The reconstruction of this meaning is often subjective, but some constructions are superior to other constructions. So the abstract art exists as a form for people to try to take stimulus, form their own little frameworks from that stimulus, or apply a framework they already have to that stimulus, and see what the art pops out. Ideally, I'm not saying I always do that, but that's the goal. I won't even say that's the goal, because it's not the goal all the time. But that is a theme of mine that I'm trying to explore to varying degrees. You can say that I fucked up, or that I've tread the same ground for too long, and you might be right. But that's the attempt at what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to give artistically, And I don't have any ulterior motives here. Like, I really just want to make good art. So if I don't do that, if I fuck up, if I fail, let me know. Like, comment, say you fucked up, you failed. Here's why. Bang, bang, bang. I could really use good critiques of my work. That being said, if you like every single one of my videos and you hit the like button before you watch, I'll take it. I'll take both. But good criticism. And if you're gonna subscribe, dislike, and leave and never come back, leave it. Like, take 30 seconds. Leave me a comment. Say why, because I read my comments, and I'm trying to be a good serviceman here. And I think part of being a good serviceman is being like, hello, I have a product for you. Please enjoy it. And then you can say, oh, this is shit. And then I can say, I will take this into consideration. And then, I go back, make a new product, see if it can hit the points I'm trying to hit better. I mean, it's not to please you. It's to please me. By pleasing you. Holy fuck, shut the fuck up.